Let's subdivide.
Those are good 16th notes, dude.
Thanks, dude. You know, I was in band.
I can tell.
Yeah.
It shows.
Yep. Heck of band. I wore a tie yesterday for the first time probably since a band performance.
Nice.
Yep.
I helped my friend tie a tie today.
Nice.
I felt like a dad. like quite a dad.
It's a valuable life skill.
It is. It is. I was happy to impart that.
I know
upon
some
him.
people who just have a tie that they've
That's
tied once
Yeah.
and they never untie it.
For
I'm
years.
Just learn to tie it.
Yeah. It's really not a difficult knot in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, on that note, welcome back to our sports podcast, Throwing from the One.
Professional networking podcast.
Welcome back to our business networking podcast, Throwing from your business card.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Hit me up for products and services.
Episode 34 of Throwing from the One, a.k.a. the Dana White's Dirty Draws show.
Danny.
I realized this is the second to last weekly installment of Thrown from the One,
Ba-da-da.
and we have made zero announcements or indications.
We could get two more in.
How do you record one, and then one finals week. Yes, you're right. So, third to last, likely, weekly installment of Thrown from the One, and we have made zero announcement or lead up to that. So yeah, start counting down. We're going to go move online into blog form, it sounds like at this point, because that is something that we can easily keep going and consistently producing content in remote without having to spend an hour and a half on Skype once a week. And then, maybe do some periodic mega podcast updates. We could maybe even teach Grady to use Skype for those.
Whoa.
And get the band back together.
He did teach us how to use a grenade launcher today.
True. Which is apparently you just stick the projectile in the end of a gun and then shoot just like regular. And and it thumps. At least that's what they're telling Grady in the Navy. So it's a pretty off-season, drama-rich show today. We do have some legitimate news. Probably start off with that, the legitimate NFL news, some franchise.
AB to the Bills.
Yeah, AB to the Bills, and then in the morning, AB not to the Bills.
Yeah.
Shooting his way out of town before he even got there, in this case.
I liked the jokes that were like, wow, I slept through the entirety of AB on the Bills.
So, did you get some update on this as to what it was that he said he wouldn't sign?
He said he might not show up.
Oh, he wouldn't show up. That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, but this is my thing with this guy if I'm any team. Is if we have to ask first, then we probably shouldn't be trading whatever kind of assets we're trading for him. Although I do think at this point it's the market value has to have dropped quite a bit.
The rumor is the Steelers were still fishing for a first rounder, which I thought was high in the first place.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not. I mean, a second seems fair to me given the circumstances, but I would hesitate to give up anything at this point for the guy, honestly.
Yeah.
Anything, and a fifth counts as nothing,
It sounds like there's basically the Niners and the Raiders would be the two teams he'd be down with. That still makes sense.
Yeah, so no one else can trade for him. It's he's put himself in an almost NBA player situation. Except for he still doesn't get to control his own fate at the end of the day. He just has this no trade clause that's not actually a contractual clause. It's just the
threat of not showing up.
I'll hate you if you trade for me clause.
/ yeah.
Yeah, or just
I don't need football.
Yeah, I'll quit if you trade for me clause.
We could have that'd be literally like two of the NFL's like best wide receivers of the 2000s. Then would have just like retired out of rage at like 30 years old.
Yeah, I would say different scenarios, but yes. I mean, I think I don't know. I guess similar. They both don't really want to be there at the end of the day. But yeah, AB, it's just that's like one of the things that's just really been crystallized by this whole thing for me is like it's definitely not about the winning or the football for that guy.
He specifically said, "I have nothing left to accomplish." Multiple times.
Like, it's literally just about getting his money and continuing to get to do touchdown dances.
Very important.
And like adding thrones to the palace and golden furniture of varying
Bigger chests
types and stuff like that. And Instagram live chatting with random 12-year-olds. That's what's important to him. Which the ESPN, we just got done watching the travesty of a Celtics-Lakers game. The Lakers, what a garbage fire, Jeremy. Oof, it's rough.
Yeah.
On ESPN.
I said they should have fired Luke Walton like in January.
You were probably right, and now it's getting kind of too late, and it's like
definitely too late.
Weird. Yeah.
They've waved the white flag.
There's 16.
They announced Ingram's out for the season.
And Ball.
Yeah.
They're
cutting back LeBron's minutes.
I mean, like I was saying to you and Wong before the podcast, they're announcing this like Mancuso guy or whatever his name is tonight. Caruso. He's a G League player who's like in his second year, but somehow looks like 35-year-old Ginobili. And they're like,
I saw that.
Yeah, when he like
I
comes,
was like, wow, that guy's got an unfortunate hair genetics.
He's been stashed, but then I see second-year player out of the G League. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess he hasn't been stashed because he went to Texas A&M 2 years ago. But yeah, they like showed his introduction. It's like Texas A&M all-time leader in assists and steals, 2017-18 all second team all G League. Fan of the Manchester United of the English Premier League. It's like, holy shit, Lakers, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're just like, all right, this guy's a Man U fan, bring him up. And I mean, I know the joke is that there's no third accomplishment to put on there beyond his G League and college days, but
is on the Lakers.
He is on the Lakers. Yeah, that was pretty tough to watch earlier. The Celtics are playing well, but I think we get to that later and clear the NFL board first. David Irving, the suspended Cowboys defensive end, they're both... So the Cowboys have both ends of their defensive line are never going to play football again, pretty much, is what it looks like. They both...
Two of the three...
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, the best one. Well, right, I'm just saying.
On $20 million.
I'm saying rhetorically, they have either end of the line getting suspended and then saying, "All right, well, I quit anyway."
Yeah.
To varying degrees. I mean, I don't remember what Gregory exactly said or did, but then David Irving just straight blazes up on Instagram, says, "What did he said? Like, I don't need football, or I quit." Didn't he say I quit playing football?
Well, he actually said. He quit the NFL. He loves football, but the NFL isn't football.
Well, it is and it isn't, David. But, all right, man.
XFL candidate.
If you want to go do the Ricky Williams thing, or, try and make a career out of the XFL for the 2 years that it lasts or whatever, then try. But
you just got to go there until they take weed testing out of the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, and then I'm sure there won't be any talented D linemen that have come into the league and filled roster spots in that period. Speaking of wide receiver movement, though, Danny Amendola, released by the Dolphins, everyone on Instagram, including myself, immediately said @Patriots, and it seems like a foregone conclusion. He's worth more. It's not that this is my favorite part. To me, it's not that he's worth more to them than anyone. It's just that he's worth more there than anywhere else. It's like he's just not going to be as productive in any other offense. So, and who's going to who's going to pay him more than 3 coming off the season that he just had? And at 3, it's like, yeah, okay, bring him back. Fine.
Have you heard the stupid money Cole Beasley is apparently asking for?
Oh, my God. No, I don't even want to.
He's, like, looking to get paid in the high teens.
Okay. You know, that's a guy I would be down for Cole Beasley as a Patriot, but not in I would
half that.
Not in the low teens. I'm not down for Cole Beasley as a Patriot. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at this year's wide receiver free agent list, and I mean, there's not a ton, but the Patriots they literally have no one. They're bringing Philip Dorsett back, but at this point, it's legitimately Edelman Dorsett, period. Patterson's a free agent. Hogan's a free agent. Gordon, obviously, gone. That's it. There's no more wide receivers.
They should have kept Malcolm Mitchell, dude.
Well, he's out of the league, so I think his injury thing ended up being real. I don't think they had a choice. Because I was mad about that, but the fact that they cut him, no one so much as picked him up, as far as I know, indicates that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Probably he wouldn't have passed a physical if someone tried.
Rip.
But I'm looking at this list again, this walterfootball.com list, which I have no idea who this website is, but I keep sourcing them for our show. But to me, some of the guys, Adam Humphries seems like a good fit. I don't know that much about the player. I like the idea of that, similar with Jamison Crowder. I'm like, I don't love the player from what I know about him. He doesn't seem like he's ever popped off the field to me, but at the same time, it's like...
What about Jermaine Kearse, dude?
So, I mean, Golden Tate is out there. That's the one. And that's
going to get overpaid.
Yeah, likely true. And that's why that's my thinking, because when I look at this list, it's like it's a him and everyone else type of list, which tends to lead someone else needs a wide receiver and someone will pay for it. So I did hear an interesting today. Randall Cobb is an unrestricted free agent, which again, he's a guy that I don't want them to dedicate any real money to Randall Cobb. But if you can, Flyers. I mean, take all the Flyers. You need to sign 6 receivers per camp, so why not sign some guys who we know at least have potential, you know? And potential's not the right word, but like sign guys who you know are capable of contributing at an NFL level. It's like we can't. I don't think they can afford to basically do what they did this year, which is go into it and say we'll figure it out as we go. It didn't work. They had no receivers all year. They ended up bringing in Josh Gordon and selling their entire offensive soul to chuck deep balls to him so they could try and get him involved in the offense.
Hey, he might come back, maybe.
And I'm not opposed as long as they don't sell their entire offensive soul and chuck deep balls.
He posts just within the last week, him coming on the field with the Patriots, him saying he was working on that TB12 method. Oh,
I know. I constantly. He's Super Bowl champion.
I know.
Josh
he posted
Gordon,
that.
dude.
That's in his bio now.
That's so
too.
Weird.
Super Bowl 53 champion.
So weird.
Yeah, I was on the team for a month in November.
There's talented guys on this list. Some of them. This free agent wide receiver list. I don't know. I mean, they got to do something. Like I'm not opposed to Kearse, and literally anyone they can bring in that can play in the NFL.
I think Kearse would make a lot of sense.
Kearse does make sense to me.
One, because out of all those guys, he's the only outside receiver.
Well, I don't think that part of it even matters, because whoever they get, they're not. I mean, no one should be running down the sideline catching bombs. It doesn't. Josh Gordon wasn't explosive or big enough to do it. So, I don't. That's not going to be their offense. I think Kearse makes sense because he's tough and smart. And if they get enough guys that will just fit and run the routes, then theoretically speaking, it should be hard to cover. And everyone should be productive.
Curse makes big plays.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's I
Literally, like,
he's a winner.
arguably 2 and what should have been the 3 biggest plays in Seahawks history.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's mentally, whatever, emotionally, whatever you want to say, the guy's there for sure. And I don't frankly care about the physical part that much if he can run routes, which I think he can. So
Yeah. On Instagram the other day, I saw, Brandon Bostic. He was that tight end for the Packers who messed up the onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
He posted a picture of him hanging out with Eddie Lacy. Oh, the comments were so savage. It was like, wow, could you find a bigger group or 2 worse like NFL losers to post in one picture?
Yeah, definitely, because probably the only people who follow either of them are Packers fans too. So, Eddie Lacy, and I mean that Bostic kid just made a bad play. Just sucks.
The bad play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he made the bad play. But, it's a team game, Jeremy. It's never one player's fault, never one play's fault.
Yeah.
Probably the most significant football movement news so far of the offseason, the Michael Bennett trade.
I don't know about that, but it was...
Who else has changed teams?
I guess, like, Case Keenum and the Joe Flacco thing. Nick Foles going to the Jags. That's not official yet.
I guess, well, if Foles, is that even happening? I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that that's actually happening.
Well, that's because it can't be official yet. It can't be official till the 13th.
Well, yeah, but is that like, I haven't even seen Schefter reports or anything on that.
From what I know, from what I've heard, it's pretty much set in stone. And they just cut 4 veterans yesterday to clear up the cap room to sign him.
All right, well, that's the only one that I would say is bigger than Michael Bennett, and it hasn't happened. So I stand by what I said. Michael Bennett for essentially a 6th, for Michael Bennett, and a 7th for a 5th next year. So the draft picks are changing hands potentially after he's done as a Patriot. He's still not under contract.
Martellus Bennett wants to come back now.
Yep, he does.
He'll have to stop smoking his weed, dude.
He will have to stop smoking his weed, and he'll probably have to take a random test when he comes back, because he has been smoking his weed on Instagram as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. As long as they don't get done with the money. I mean, don't pay him anything. If he's gonna come back for some of Michael's money, basically,
I actually want to get paid more than what I was getting paid.
So if they want to, make a reasonable deal with Michael Bennett, that's fine. I'm, always in favor of them spending on legitimate players, which he is. At the same time, Martellus Bennett is not. He's, this is a glorified Dwayne Allen we're talking about here. I've been pissed about Dwayne Allen the whole time he's been there. Like, what? Just because I like Martellus Bennett, the guy, I'm going to be fine with them giving him $5 million to be a moderately effective blocker. Like,
all the blocking tight ends.
I mean, so Allen's gone, but that's what I'm saying. Don't tie his money up in another Dwayne Allen. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I think the fact that Rob Gronkowski still hasn't announced anything would lead me to believe he's more likely to come back at this point than not.
Yeah, it looks
like after the Super Bowl, he said, "I'll take a couple weeks," and then at around the 20th of last month, Drew Rosenhaus said a couple weeks.
It's been 3 weeks since Rosenhaus said 2 weeks, and 5 weeks since Gronk said 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, my impression of that situation is also that this probably means that in some capacity, I mean, he'll be back, and I would tend to guess that we just don't know exactly what the plan is for that right now. Whether it's on his current deal, some variation
Just
of it, or
like
what.
September 1st. Yeah, I'm down to play.
Well,
all right, cool.
And
Game this Sunday.
I don't want to, yeah, and I don't want to do that. Like that's my one thing, because all these guys, we haven't heard anything about Devin McCourty, we haven't heard anything about Dante Hightower, and they're not bringing everyone back on their money. There's just I can't.
I would say it's rather unlikely they get Trey Flowers back at this point.
Well, so but that's not on his money. That's on the only free agent defensive end this offseason at this point.
Yeah.
With D Ford, Frank
Who
Clark,
wasn't
and
tagged.
yeah. I mean, it's him, and I think Lamar Houston is a free agent.
Yeah.
But he's a ghost.
I don't know if he actually got cut yet, but he's going to get cut. Maybe he did get cut already.
But I mean, Trey Flowers deserves big money, but he's gonna get bigger money than he deserves, most likely, just by nature of that, supply and demand thing. Again, he's the only defensive end on the market, because we're back on Walter football, and their top 5 is Jadeveon Clowney, DeMarcus, which, by the way, Walter football, we're not going to use your rankings credibly ever, based on the fact that Jadeveon Clowney is their top defensive end out of these guys, when there's literally everyone in the top 5 I would rather have over him. But Clowney franchise tagged, DeMarcus Lawrence franchise tagged, Frank Clark franchise tagged, and Brandon Graham re-signed with the Eagles. So it's Trey Flowers and then Ezekiel Ansah. And if you're going to pay Ezekiel Ansah more than $5 million a season, then
I would give him more than that.
I wouldn't give him more than
Ezekiel
6.
Ansah can still do some stuff.
Do some stuff. What has he ever done?
Rack up
other than be
sacks
big
for a bad team.
Has he? That's not even my impression that he's had sacks. I feel like Ezekiel Ansah has never.
I feel like there was like one game where he had like 4 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 48 sacks in his career, which is 5 seasons. So
that's production.
I mean, he had a 14.5 sack year and a 12 sack year, which is production, I guess. Yeah, can't really argue with that. But with the market where the market's at for edge rushers right now, he's certainly gonna get significantly more than $5 million. All right. Well, again, we can say this every time, but that doesn't make it make any sense. You're still wasting your money. So someone can waste their money, but that's a waste of money. He's 30 years old, hasn't played 16 games since 2015. He's done it 2 out of 5 seasons. I'm not giving a guy who played 7 games, started 2 last season, and is 30 years old. I'm not giving him more than a 2-year deal. I mean, I'm not signing Ezekiel Ansah, is what I'm saying. So it's Trey Flowers and no one for me. Because then we go Preston Smith, who I don't even know who that is.
Me neither.
Derek Morgan.
Same.
Who... And then we're looking Randy Gregory, who's not a free agent. Cameron Wake, who's a million years old. Vinny Curry, who is... Yeah, I mean, there's no one. It's Trey Flowers. I mean, which I'll even give you Ezekiel Ansah as a starter for your football team, but those 2 guys are the only options for you if you need a solid defensive end next year, really.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a pretty good pass rushing draft class.
Yeah, so that's fair, but Trey Flowers, I mean, it's possible. I haven't heard anything about hometown discount or not for the Patriots, but I mean,
I doubt it.
they're not giving him around 20. So, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be too surprised. It depends on the hometown discount. Like if we're talking, he's looking at less guaranteed money over a 3-year deal, significantly, but not like hugely less guaranteed money, but there's incentives there to where he can almost make it up, or like, I mean, I think there's room. And part of that is just my feeling about the player. He's just been such a quiet Patriot the whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in a good situation there. They love him. I mean, the team. He's
the University of Washington educated dude.
Is he?
Smart. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's a UW guy.
He's a transfer then. He went to Arkansas for.
Oh wait, no, I think I'm getting him mixed up with someone else on the Patriots.
Yeah, he's an Arkansas draft pick, I believe. This from the Sam M. Walton College of Business.
Oh yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Sam M. Walton
at Arkansas. I like him. I hope they bring him back. I mean, this is a perfect example though Trey Flowers has 21. He has literally, well less than half the career sacks of Ezekiel Ansah and has been a better player the entire time. Maybe not his first season, but since Trey Flowers has become Trey Flowers, which was the last year Ezekiel Ansah played 16 games, but since he came into his own, it's just the guy is always there. And I don't know, I would be very happy to see them actually combining two disruptive pass rushers if they bring him back. I mean, they have the money. They can spend the money. So just do it. Just please. I mean, I think the Patriots have to decide whether it's all in for the Brady window or not. And if it is, spend all the money. And if it's not, then why are we trading for Michael Bennett? So spend all the money, I think.
Sheldon Richardson and Ndamukong Suh are also out there on the free agent market.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, both of those guys I have mixed feelings about. And both of them are also guys who I just think...
I'd rather have Sheldon Richardson.
Oh, I'd much rather have Richardson. I mean, Sue is a no on my football team type of guy. Like, I don't care what the money is or anything.
I don't think he's like a bad locker room guy. I just hate his guts.
I don't necessarily think he's a bad locker room guy in that, like, he's going to hurt the chemistry of your team, but I think having him around hurts the attitude and discipline of your team. I mean, he's just... I don't want... If I'm going to bring in a flat-out dick, I want him to be, like, effectively directing it. Like, I'm fine with Aqib Talib, someone starting fights on the field, if they're good fights from a hockey sense. But, like...
Snatching chains.
Stomping on dudes and, like... I don't know. And, I mean...
Stomping on dudes.
Well, and
spraining Russell's ankle.
Just being... Yeah, he's just a jerk, man. He's just so mean. Crashing his Chrysler in Portland and driving away from the scene.
What? I don't remember that.
That was like his first or second year with the Lions. He had like a bad hit and run in Portland where he I'm pretty sure he hit someone on the sidewalk. Why was he in
Portland?
He's from Portland.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yep.
He doesn't seem like a PNW kind of guy.
No, he really doesn't. But I mean, Yeah, he's from Portland. Yeah, he hits. I think he hit someone on the sidewalk, or he like hit them while they were parking their car or something. But it was like a type of thing where like he hit
My
somebody.
bad.
No, he like got out and was like, oh shit, and they were like, is that fucking Ndamukong Suh? Like, yeah, and he's like, no, and then took off. Yeah.
I am another very large man.
Yeah, like how many Ndamukong Suh like human beings exist in the world, much less in Portland? 6'4", 307 pounds in a blacked out straight murder Chrysler 300 on like 22s, and he smacked someone on the sidewalk and then drove off, and people were like, so we're pretty sure Ndamukong Suh just hit somebody, and then
It's low quality.
Anyway, bad guy. That's what I'm saying. Not interested. And
Sheldon Richardson's chill though.
yeah, but I don't know. He's another one where it's like I just think the name is going to command more money on the market than he's worth. Ultimately.
Maybe.
Could go either way.
I mean, he took a 1 year, 8.5 to play with the Vikings this year. That's not exorbitant. And I don't think
It's not great either, though.
No, but I mean, I don't think
He's not a great player.
he's good.
Yeah, but he's just fine.
I'd like to have him.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't.
He's a good stuffer.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's like $8 million is reasonable for him, I would say. That's what.
When I heard he signed with the Vikings last year for $8 million, I was like, we should have given him $8 million.
Yeah, I mean, well, Pete Carroll, according to 24/7 Sports, said the Seahawks couldn't. So,
couldn't give him $8 million.
I don't know what that means, but he says the Seahawks couldn't pay Sheldon Richardson, which is not how that works in the NFL. If there's a will, you can release some dudes and make a way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we had a lot of guys, that D tackle that they wanted to get in there, I guess. And Jaron Reed really took that next step forward, and he looks like he can be, a constant presence. And then we'll see about Poona Ford, but that guy lit it up the last month of the season, so we'll see if that continues into next season.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll wish you good luck with Poona Ford because I can't contribute much to that.
I don't
report.
even. It was literally just like I didn't know who he was until it was like week 12, and he just made like 5 or 6 plays. It was like, what? Who is this guy? And like, I know everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jaron Reed. I mean, he was like. He played close to a Pro Bowl caliber this year, so we'll see if that continues.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that
he's a last chance you guy.
Is he from
he went
Scuba?
Yeah, he was his last year at EMCC was the year before the show started.
Lucky or poor guy, depending on your outlook on Coach Buddy Stevens and that TV show.
They did fire Coach Brown, by the way.
You can't call. I mean, you can't call yourself a kid's Hitler. So, fair.
Apparently, he's already like getting hit up for new jobs, though. So
you can call yourself a kid's new Hitler, or whatever he said.
Yeah, I'm your new Hitler.
I'm your new Hitler. He was entertaining on TV. One of my.
You want to be gangbanging? This ain't L.A. This is Independence, Kansas.
I love... there are a couple scenes with him that I love. I love, the fact that in every time they show him on that show...
smoking a cigar.
The Stoves, first of all, but literally every time he's not on the field or, like, at work, he has a drink in his hand.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like whether he's at home or he's at a friend's house or he's at the bar... there's always a drink in his hand, and it's usually a pint glass with something other than beer in it.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth.
He's pretty G.
And like, I mean, yeah, I like what was the one kid's name, that like undersized linebacker from Compton?
Yeah,
who
I know who you're talking
the
about.
one teacher like asked him to name something positive about himself, and he just like stands there and looks at her for like 45 seconds and says, "I ain't a quitter."
Yeah.
But like I think it's him, and Stevens is like yelling at. I know he's one of the guys when they're first talking about, or not Stevens, about Brown, when they're first talking about him, and he's like, yeah, I mean, when I talked to Coach Brown on the phone, the whole time I thought he was a black dude.
That's like literally what all of them said.
And then next thing you know, you're there, and he's running around in his cargo shorts, calling you fuck boy,
and his visor.
Yeah, and telling you, yeah. I like my favorite like moment from that season of that show, Last Chance U, is like one of the last episodes starts with like the exterior shot, 10:15 p.m. of like the cinder block, super depressing coach's office. You just hear Coach JB, I need like a fucking like 10-month vacation from this shit, dog. And then it just cuts to him inside, slumped. And then next thing you know, of course, they're like either miraculously winning or miraculously losing, and then he's drinking in the hot tub.
Their own sideline almost evolved into like a full fist fight, and they still managed to win the game.
I know, it's
I was like, wow, they're a lot better than everyone else in town.
I know.
They're like coming to blows and just like hating each other and still managing to win this game.
That's what I kept thinking about that season, those kids, was I kept like being like, dude, their talent is just so much better than everyone. Like, they're not good, they hate each other, and then they just go out and like blow doors half of the games. Whereas like the East Mississippi guys were like a pretty talented junior college football team, it seems like, but they still were like playing some other schools where it's like, oh yeah, a lot of these guys can play college ball too. Not like Independence, where it's like what you think of junior colleges, which is like, oh, most of these guys are just like very good high school players who are not gonna make it at the next level. And then Coach JB sends out like his all Florida State reject squad / LA EuroLeague ballers or whatever. I don't know. That's probably plenty of time dedicated to like the 1-year-old season of Last Chance U.
I can't wait for the next season.
They're making it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've released the trailer and everything.
Oh, good.
I watched this guy on YouTube who like covers the schools, right? So he like, without like basically trying to give away the season, he like keeps you updated on like what's going on. Mm-hmm. That's how I figured out JB got fired. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I do.
He like went to Independence, Kansas. Like they invited him.
Oh God.
And he met like the kid who like made the song.
Dude,
the glasses kid.
I hate that kid. He was the most painful part of that whole show. That kid like
showed him around the campus.
I'm sure he did.
They like went to the bar where they do that little radio show.
Oh my God. That kid was probably so enthusiastic to have him there.
He has blue hair now.
Yeah. Okay. Not surprised, but
when do you think you want this played?
Well, like I kind of want all the guys to see it.
Can I think about it?
Yeah, dude. No. Like, I don't understand. Oh, yeah, that was rough. That was so much more rough. I like how they have to like have a beat maker in every season, because they had the kid with the Miss Britney songs, whatever his name was.
Don't forget your pencil.
Yeah. Tell me what you need, a pen or a pencil. Oh, God, dude. The Miss Britney songs. Miss Britney.
Me, Britney.
I do like the new Miss Britney, specifically Bobby. It was Bobby something, that linebacker kid.
Bobby Brown.
But no. Bobby something, though.
Yeah.
But her interactions with that Bobby kid, oh, my God, dude. Although I do like, why does there have to be a Miss Britney on every season? Like the next college, there's gonna be another motherly female academic figure who helps these kids not fail their classes, sort of.
The woman in this season is like an actual teacher though, whereas like Miss Brittany was like literally just like the mom of the football team.
Well, I think she was like a general counselor, and the football
Yeah,
players
she
just
was.
need more momming. But no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, is there gonna be like a how can I reach these kids person every season?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, probably. I guess it works. I mean, it is. It's a fun show. I find myself more attentively tuning into that than All or Nothing or Hard Knocks or whatever. Like, I kind of feel like I've been there, done that. Whereas like every one of these junior colleges is its own wonderful shit show, you know.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
I thoroughly enjoy them all.
You might.
But yeah,
You might get Bruce Arians yelling like.
I arguably like the last. It's more. I mean, I think the entertainment value for someone who doesn't care about football would certainly be more in Last Chance U.
Right.
It'd be pretty hard to watch Hard Knocks if you didn't care about
So
the
they're
NFL.
practicing for the games, and then you're gonna watch the games. Okay, but you just want to watch them practice for the games now.
Like watching the one on the Bucks and just seeing like the dynamic between Dirk Cutter and Jameis Winston. It was like, oh yeah, that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I know. I do love. Well, that's dude. My thing with Goff started on All or Nothing. That's like I do like that part of the NFL ones because they can be very revealing to the point where you're like, oh, we're like actually, this is a look into the locker room, and you forget because it's like so produced and everything. But at some point, you're just watching like recordings of the actual people that make up that football team. So like their facial expressions matter, etc.
I learned like from All or Nothing, I was like, wow, I didn't realize how many NFL players chew tobacco. Like they're in the like meetings and half of them in their bottles the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that was such a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's a lot of guys come from the South, a lot of baseball players in there, and whatever.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah. No, I mean baseball. Yeah, chewing baseball is a very real thing.
One time I was playing a game. We were probably like 13, and the other team had to forfeit because like a lot of them were chewing, and like the umps like found out, and they made them forfeit.
Oh no, that's not baseball.
It was in fact baseball.
No, you're supposed to be allowed to chew tobacco. What's next? They're gonna make kids forfeit games for adjusting their cups on the field? You're taking half the fun out of the game.
Give me a minute.
Get some seeds out of the pocket. What other? Adjust your cap. I don't know. Do other baseball stuff. Stretch. Yeah. That's most of the football stuff.
Kyler Murray going number 1 overall.
Murray is the last thing, which it sounds like is gonna happen most likely.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how much we can say about it after the fact. Like if they are indeed taking him number 1, it's like, all right, well, the fun part of deciding when he's going to go is over, and now it's just let's see if he can play, and then we just wait until presumably week 1 when he's starting, or
he'll be he doesn't have a Sam Bradford to pretend to start for a couple weeks.
Well, and this is like, I don't know. I mean,
actually, is Sam Bradford still on the Cardinals roster?
For all I know,
I think he might be.
Who cares though? I mean, well, wasn't that deal he signed? I think it was actually a 1-year deal.
I don't remember.
I don't know. That's just
the Rams signed Eric Weddle. We didn't write that down.
Yeah,
that upset me.
I did see that. That's seems like a good deal for them. Probably a good fit.
It sounds like, from what I have put together from various sources that they're really focused on getting a Dante Fowler back, and besides that, it's pretty much gravy.
The talent's not the issue. Like unless you're gonna fix your quarterbacking problem this offseason, which good luck bringing in someone better than Jared Goff off the street. So I'm like, I mean,
Josh Rosen,
dude, to be honest, it's like I would borderline be in on Foles if I was them, because like you at least know he's good enough to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and we pretty much know
that is
Goff
true.
isn't. Like
He could probably throw for like 550 and 4 touchdowns on average in Sean McVay's offense.
I mean, really though, dude, it's like the fact that Goff is doing as well as he has, to me, is like a commentary on how much better someone else could be, because I just really don't think it's there with that kid.
I watched Sean McVay, like an interview from during the combine, and they asked him, like, what are some plays you would have called differently from the Super Bowl? And he was like, well, mostly I would have just like explained to Jared like my thinking behind the calls. I wish it had been like, yeah, they're running this concept, so we're gonna do this to counteract it, because I just don't think he like understood why.
I don't think the why was the entire problem, Mr. McVay. I don't think he understood what for most of the game. I think it took Goff until the half to realize that the Patriots were playing zone.
It was super funny. They asked Sean McVay, they were like, when you see Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll, like, do you think you're gonna be doing this like at their age? He's like, oh hell no. Like,
it's easy to say now. We'll see.
Yeah, he's like, unless I find a way to significantly optimize my workload, I'm not gonna make it that long.
We'll see, dude. I think a lot of those guys are football junkies. That's why they make it that far.
They were like, how long do you sleep? And he was like, all but Saturday night, I get 4 hours. And he's like, not necessarily at once, just like whenever I can get it. 15 minutes after practice, an hour from midnight to 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that's the case, then I would say, yes, Sean, there are ways to optimize your workflow, because you don't have to do that to study enough film.
No, he must remember everything, Walk.
Well, it's just there's the law of diminishing returns is real. At some point, you're better off getting the sleep, even in Sean McVay's situation.
Todd Gurley has arthritis. That's also very notable.
Yes, that is fairly notable.
He's like my grandpa.
Yeah, he's like your grandpa, but in the middle of a career based on explosively using his legs.
And an $80 million contract.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's either he is / was injured or he's a puss. So
we're gonna
good question mark.
I think. Well, the question will be, knowing that coming into the season and realizing that because they just rode Gurley the first 12 weeks of the season. He was getting 30 touches a game. So we'll see if coming into the season with the mindset of we only want to get him 20 touches a game, coming into the season with the CJ Anderson.
Yeah, it'll help.
Yeah.
It'll help, but at the same time, it's like you still have a franchise running back with a degenerative knee condition at this point, basically.
Send him to Germany to get special knee surgery.
I mean, well, you gotta. That's a tough one. I think that's a very scary thing for the Rams.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, I look at. This is one of my things with running backs, is that any little lower body thing can be a career ender functionally. I mean, and my classic example is LaDainian Tomlinson's little toe injury, because he had like turf toe on his pinky toe and was never the same. Which, also he was 33 or whatever at the time, and he was still a fine running back. Like that's pre-Jets career.
Yeah.
And he was a legitimate back in the league, but also we are talking about one of the few very special guys there. Like, that's one of the great backs ever. B, he was still one of the great backs ever when he had that injury. Like, it was a pretty quick, and I mean, again, it's weird to say a rapid decline because he was still a functioning, solid contributor for a while, but like, he went from still being like LaDainian
LT.
Tomlinson, AP, and CJ2K to the next year, is Adrian Peterson or Chris Johnson the best back in the league, you know? Like, that. And all that happened was turf toe, and he could never make that jump cut the same, and you just can't be losing your explosiveness at that position, or or at that point, my favorite thing, the scrap heap running back is better than you, because if he has fresh legs and he's still explosive, then like, you can be the smartest, best route runningest, toughest, most elusive back ever, but if you can't hit the hole hard on 3rd and 1, what good are you to me?
Apparently, I heard that like ACL injuries like help like promote arthritis development, which I didn't know. I still don't get quite why.
I mean, I would think that any knee injury to one of the ligaments or tendons that's like important to stability would lead to arthritis.
What's it called? You got like those 2 pads in your knee that are really providing the cushion between the 2 bones, whereas the ACL is just like connecting them all.
Well, but it's not just connecting them all. It's holding them all. It's important to the stability as well. Which, that's the thing. Anytime you interfere with the stability of something, then you're introducing long-term wear, which is where arthritis comes from. So, and the ACL is definitely it's a stabilizer. But yeah. Anyway, it's arthritis is
for old people.
Yeah, right. Basically, it means
And Todd Gurley.
He has an old man knee at best. It's not good, because I mean,
him a walker with tennis balls on it, and he can hit the holes.
I mean, the best case scenario is that it's gonna hurt. That's the thing. Is like, even if he is as explosive,
you just give it injections.
Well, that's what it's gonna be. It's what's gonna have to be.
Yep.
And then it's just how
how tough are you?
And
welcome to the salty spittoon. How tough are you?
And no matter how tough are you, it's like, at some point, consciously or subconsciously, you're not going to keep exploding through that, paying 16 weeks a year, 16 games a year, 18 games a year, whatever it is, for 3 years. It's a lot of knee pain.
The Rams should sign Mike Davis, actually.
Whoever. It doesn't matter. Whoever they want to sign.
Well, Mike Davis...
Just draft 3 dudes in rounds 4 through 7, and they'll be fine.
Mike Davis is young, and he's a good pass-catching back. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And him and Todd Gurley are just like homies.
Okay. If they want to, if the money's low, don't pay him.
Him and Todd Gurley like went on vacation together right after the season. They're both Georgia boys.
Okay. That's not a factor in my decision, but
no.
I would
player morale, dude.
I would yeah, I mean, again, I would just draft 3 dudes in the bottom 3 rounds, and 1 to 2 of them will be a good enough player for a season or 2, and then you just rinse, repeat. Or 1 guy in the 3rd round, 1 guy in the 6th round, or whatever. But I just it's just
Myles Gaskin.
If you bring in a couple guys that you like at that position, 1 of them will stick. I mean, like, they are the perfect. C.J. Anderson is the perfect example. Like, they just brought in a guy who is literally just a guy. Like, that's the last 3 or 4 years of his career.
C.J. Anderson lost me a fantasy championship walk.
Yeah, probably because he was too much of just a guy.
No, because I was playing him in the semifinals, and I lost by 2.
Beat you.
Yeah, I lost by 2 points. Sean only had C.J. Anderson left, and with like the Broncos were down like 2 touchdowns or whatever with 2 minutes left, C.J. Anderson caught a 25-yard wheel route for a touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
Anybody could have done that, though.
I probably couldn't have.
That is
I
true.
probably would have got. I mean, I might have caught the ball if
Yeah.
like they didn't pick me up out of the backfield, but they probably would have got me down before the end zone. I'm pretty slow.
Might not have got there for sure. Okay, so C.J. Anderson is just a guy who's better than you at NFL running backing.
Yes.
But
Put my head down and hit the hole, dude.
yeah, no, I
Boom,
trust.
boom.
I trust.
I'll knock Bobby Wagner off his feet.
The Celtics are playing well, Jeremy.
We just get transition from football just like that.
I am.
Ouch.
I don't want to talk about Kyler Murray anymore, and that's the only other football stuff. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And also, I'm just watching as we creep up to the length of last week's podcast here. It's getting creepy, dude. The Celtics are playing well. Also, by the way, quickly, in the Bruins minute, they're on a 19-game unbeaten streak right now. Like, straight up just playing the best hockey in the NHL. Like, no one can beat them.
That's pretty good.
It is.
As long as they didn't tie all of them.
No, they didn't tie all of them. They've only tied, like, 4 of them, actually. And they're on, like, a 10-game winning streak at home, which I think is a franchise record. Yeah, so that's the Bruins minute, for what it's worth. They're doing good.
Mariners and Red Sox open up the season against each other. Did you know that?
The regular season.
Well, the Mariners had the 2 games in Japan, and then they come back to Safeco against the Red Sox for the first series.
The 2 games in Japan.
Yeah.
Is that a regular thing?
Yeah. Those are the first 2 games that count. It's they leave in like 6 days for Japan. They play 2 games in like 11 days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 23rd and 24th or something. And then we come back for like a week, and then the rest of the regular season starts.
So they play 2 games in Japan a week before opening day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
Yep. They're at 2 a.m. local time. But it's they're during finals week, so I will probably stay up and watch them.
Yeah, I'm sure those crush the TV ratings.
Felix isn't going to get the ball on opening day for the first time in 11 years. He's slated as our 6th starter right now. So, and obviously most teams don't have 6 starters.
That's a lot of starters.
Dude, it's just such a shame. It's just like he just has gotten worse. And like he has just been terrible this spring training.
Yeah.
And like it's sad because like all the Seattle media is totally turned on like arguably the greatest Seattle athlete from like the last while, one top 3.
Yeah.
And but I mean he hasn't put in the work to like adapt to his old age.
Well, what do you want the Seattle media to do? Like if the guy can't pitch, then the guy can't pitch.
It's just annoying and a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame for sure. It sucks when guys get old like that. But there's no until his arm starts falling off, it's possible that he can adapt his game and become a crafty old man pitcher.
He's had 4
Seems unlikely.
years now.
Seems
this
unlikely.
This will be the 4th year. He's really not been good.
Yeah. That's rough. But I still see people wearing his jersey.
Yep.
Which is
what
cool.
else? What other jersey were you gonna buy in 2009?
I wouldn't have bought anybody else's jersey.
Exactly.
That's for sure. They would have been gone.
Ichiro,
I guess. Yeah, that's fair. But that's lame, dude. What are you gonna just be like literally everybody else and get an Ichiro jersey?
It's super funny, especially with it like being spring training now. All these like minor league guys who are like 20, 21 years old. They're like, they interview him and they're like, dude, it's pretty cool. I'm sitting in the same dugout as Ichiro.
Somehow he's still sitting in that dugout.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably just really going to play the 2 games in Japan and go back to his player manager role that he was last season.
That's fair.
Speaking of player managers, Sean Lee restructured his contract to like pretty much nothing so he could do that.
Good. Well, good for him and good for the Cowboys because I like Sean Lee
The dude is smart.
Yeah.
Like if you watch
Yeah.
whichever it was, All or Nothing, like he's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Just like can't stay on the field.
Yeah. Well, he's not, Sean Lee is small for what he's done in his career.
Yeah.
Pretty much flat out. And he's getting old. He's got to be 32 or 33.
Yeah.
And he's been banging heads in there for quite a while. I'll mute the beat in a second, dude.
Dude.
There we go. Did it by itself.
Celtics. It doesn't matter.
Coming back.
Is it real?
Uh,
Or are they just kicking the shit out of the Lakers, who suck even worse?
well, they kicked the shit out of the Lakers, but they also kicked the shit out of Golden State and had a legitimate win with no Kyrie against Sacramento. So, the West Coast road trip has been really encouraging. Absolutely. Is this the real, long-term / rest of this season state of this team? I have no idea. How can you put faith in these guys? I mean, their only identity this season has been that they have no identity. So I'm encouraged. I am encouraged, but at the same time, like the Golden State win by itself was borderline just frustrating. It's like, yeah, great. You can beat Golden State by 30 points. So why are we the 5 seed in the East? Geniuses. Like it takes a 6-hour plane ride and you all to cry on the plane together and yell at each other or whatever for us to like.
I love you, bro.
Seriously, dude. And then now all of a sudden everybody's giving high fives and cheering for each other again. Like, yes, this is what it means to be on a team. You have to cheer for each other. If everyone only cares about their own stats, we're going to lose. It's not, guys.
Like the Steelers.
Dude, I mean, yeah. So, I don't know. I was trying to look up Sean Lee's age. Yeah, he's 32. I mean, the thing is about it is that all of the stuff that's been most worrisome has seemed to right itself over these 3 games. Hayward is playing his best basketball of the season.
Low bar, but good.
No, it is. It is a low bar, but also he's playing. I mean, he's playing good basketball. The 30 points against the Warriors was a legit 30-point game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he had
funny.
30 points in like 23 minutes or something on like 14 shots, and it was like, I think it was like 22 shots and whatever. But anyway, he had a very legit game. He hit a legit game winner against the Kings, and then tonight he had 24 points on 12 shots or whatever. Like he's actually being assertive. He still looks like ungodly slow, like to the point where you're like, I know you broke your entire leg in half, but how did you forget how to run from that? But like the passing has been as advertised the last couple games. The shooting has been as advertised the last couple games, and frankly, if he can pass and shoot like he's supposed to for them, I don't care about anything else. Like. If he cannot dunk, period, that's fine. If he's one of the worst defenders in the league, which he has been this year, that's not what I expected. That's not what I want. But if we can run the offense through him to the point where, like tonight, Kyrie against the Lakers was nasty off the ball. And that's like, I mean, that's to me where the Celtics are at their best is actually when they can get the ball out of Kyrie's hands to get it back into his hands. But you don't. No, I mean, whether it's Kyrie, LeBron, KD, whoever it is, it's never a good possession to dribble, shoot, unless it's dribble, layup.
Unless he's got his jersey untucked.
Well, so, I mean, again, the better the player, the, like, worse a shot can be a good shot. But it's always going to be a better possession if you set Kyrie up with the ball off in action. Get like tonight, they're getting switches, so he's got one-on-ones, and then the other thing is that when they get the switch the last couple games, it doesn't necessarily mean whoever gets the switch is automatically going to go post up and shoot, which is what it's meant all season. I just feel like there's been less of this like possession to possession urgency to like I need to get every basket I can while I'm on the floor. I don't, and their body language. It looks good. It's you can't not be encouraged by these 3 games. They're a half game back for the 4 seed, which sort of It'd be nice for them. I don't think it matters. The Lakers. Yeah, I mean, tonight the Lakers were /are booty, but also I would say that
they've given up.
Well, yeah, but the Celtics, I mean, we've consistently seen them lose this year to the worst teams in the league on nights when it's like, this is the night when you need to not do that. And then they would come out and lose to the Bulls, lose to the Magic, lose to the Suns, et cetera, et cetera. And like the Lakers would have been, and LeBron did try to take the game over a couple times, and the Celtics ended up winning by 13. They were leading by 17 for a lot of the third. But I would just say they took care of business, which hasn't been a given this year. And the way that they have matched up with the 76ers, I would just say that like taking care of business should get them back to the East Finals, or at least deep in the second round this year again. So taking care of business is, it's absolutely not a given for this team.
Working overtime.
And working overtime seems quite unlikely at this point. But I mean, the whole time there's been this chance that they turn it on. They're absolutely still talented enough. I mean, I think looking at the roster, they're still the best. They theoretically are still the best team in the East if they're gonna play like it. Now again, am I confident? No, you can't be. But now's as good a time as ever to start playing good again. And I just hope it's not like a 10-game streak and then they go back to whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's 17 games left or whatever it is. So it's not just now, it's now or never. Like, I do think it's important for this team to start getting some momentum going and just some positive feelings. Like, let's just
the vibes, dude.
Well, really though, like, let's just not all hate each other when we start the playoffs. That would be helpful.
That helps.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, like, can we not all be sitting on the bench like me, cold shouldering each other? And I mean, I keep going back to it, but I think in basketball, it's like it's an easy indicator. Like, just watch the bench. If the bench isn't into it when your team is going, like, you have a problem with your team chemistry. It's easy to go like that with your towel, and instinctively you should when your teammates do well.
Yeah,
so
if you look at the best college basketball teams, they
go crazy, man.
Well, not only that, but they recruit like all these white guys to sit at the end of the bench and get wildin'
for strictly for celebration sake and energy.
You're one of the best goddamn celebrators I've ever seen.
Well, but really, you watch the good teams. I mean, you watch the good teams in the NBA. Like, when Golden State is playing well, everyone's out there for each other. And then even Golden State, once the bitchiness starts, they lose some games. Like, it's a team sport at the end of the day. So, come on, guys, let's team up.
Warriors would hate each other if Steph Curry wasn't on the team.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, I think Steve Kerr is borderline underrated because he's like, I mean, I think he's got to be glue for them.
Yeah.
Just with Draymond and KD, it's like that should be enough to But you do still have Andre Iguodala there too, and he's still a legitimately respected veteran presence regardless of the play. Yeah, it's they're gonna win the championship, and then hopefully KD leaves and the nightmare's over.
Nugs.
No.
Yeah, Nugs.
No.
Nugs.
Nugs down, dude.
Nugs
down.
Nugs.
Got anything else, Jeremy?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, in that case, we're gonna
in the first week of April walk.
We're gonna switch to PartyCast until
sweep the socks.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll see about that. We still have podcasts between now and then to talk about it. In the meantime, like us on Facebook. The vlogs are gonna get posted there. Subscribe on YouTube. Comment on stuff like Grady and Henry. You could be a friend of the podcast too. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Or an enemy.
34. Or you could become an enemy of the podcast like Alex Wong. Don't ever come in your own living room again, Alex.
I hate you. I'm trying to think of something to say. I have nothing to say.